Morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Ed Lambert. It's about 10 minutes after 9. Elisa Zwatkas is joining me this morning. She's running for state representative, First Barnstable. She has to leave, so we're going to, she got to leave a little bit early. She's got some other things that are going on, so we appreciate you staying a little bit later, Elisa.
Yep.
508-775-9985, toll-free 1-888-WXTK-95-1. Our email address, if you have any questions, ed@95wxtk.com. Quick question for you. One of our emailers said, undocumented immigrants or illegal aliens with driver's licenses. Tell people why you use the word undocumented immigrants versus illegal aliens. Is there a reason in your mind, or is it just a why? Why not? Do you feel comfortable with the term illegal aliens?
I've never been asked that question. I've just always referred to people here who don't.
They're here illegally.
That is true. Yes.
And they are in the normal term aliens. They're not. They're not citizens. They're alien.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's just usually when people refer to them as illegal aliens, it has just harsh and I don't think it's always fair for it to be harsh. And I know we're probably going to disagree with that, but I mean, there's a lot of undocumented immigrants or illegal aliens. I think that is, I guess, another way to categorize them.
Let me ask you a question. All right, I didn't want to put you on. I didn't tell you I was going to ask a question, but I wanted to. I mean, if someone's here got a J-1 visa, right?
Right.
And they say, screw it, I'm not going back anywhere. I'm going to stay here.
Right.
They're here illegally. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
Or are they just here undocumented?
Both.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, you also have let me give you an example where we have parents come over here. They have a child, and the child.
How did they get over here?
A parent comes over illegally, and they're here, and they have a child, and the child is born. The child comes over when they're 2, and they live and they're in the country. They go to school. They have friends. The parents are productive members of society here illegally. No, hear me out.
Why are they productive? Why can't they be unproductive? Why don't they send all the money back home? Why do they always have to be productive?
They're not always productive, but there are a lot that are. And our economy relies a lot on immigrants, both here illegally and legally. But the point I'm trying to make is that you have the kids who are part of the country and have been at the fault of their parents, arguably, but nonetheless, they don't know anything about the country they're from. They don't know the language. They don't know this is their home. This is where their friends are. This is where their roots are. And it's an issue of fairness. And the way I see it, there needs to be a path to citizenship for those kids. So the undocumented immigrants, there's a broad range. There's some that absolutely deserve blame and fault and anger, but there's other that are, it's their parents' fault. And that's where it's complicated. And I think simplifying it to say send them back or oversimplifying it really is unfair and harsh to not everyone that deserves it.
What about their parents?
Their parents, that's another story. I've represented people. What's the question?
If we give you the thing about the kids, what the hell? The kid was 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever it was when the parents snuck across the border, brought the kids with them. Yada yada. Okay. Now that's one set of situations. What about the parents? What do you want to do with them?
It's complicated, and it needs to be looked at in a case by case situation. I think, do we need to secure the borders? Absolutely. That is beyond, we have a whole Congress trying to solve that problem. So for me to give you a black and white answer to that is impossible. And that's why we have a Congress, and they have not done their job. And like I said before, I'm as frustrated as you are, but it's been for a while. And like I said before, it's enabled the situation to our detriment. And
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
What somebody's got to say is we're going to secure the borders. This is what we're going to do. And here's the money. Let's start doing it.
And also, if Absolutely. If they're committing these crimes, they should be deported. Like, I'm not it, and I've represented people who have been deported and their children are here, and it's heart-wrenching. And I've seen it firsthand in my law practice how complicated the situation is. So anyone who approaches it in a black, white, this is the way or the highway, that frustrates me because it's such a complicated issue.
Quick question from Daniel Ed. Would the immigrants have to go through, as you say, to get in the driver's license, would they have to go through and fully pay for driver's education before getting a license?
Well, I haven't thought about that, but I don't think it should be whatever the policy is now. I mean, if it costs money, then yeah, they should have to pay for it just like anyone else.
Why not? I mean, you got to learn how to drive, so you got to go through driver's ed. So if you want to get a driver's license, go through driver's ed.
Right. I mean, whatever steps that's required to get a driver's license and to become uninsured, registered.
And once again, they don't have to insure their car. They don't have to get their car registered. I mean, they don't have to.
No, nobody has to.
Right.
They're no different than anyone else. And
Right.
the point is, and that's what I don't understand the other perspective as much, by legalizing it, it'll give the police more enforcement power. So if they want the, quote, illegal immigrant or aliens, however you want to, in jail, or that'll give the enforcement tools to do that. So I think if people think about it more, they might agree with me.
How about illegal aliens or undocumented immigrants or whatever you want? How about in-state tuition? What do you think?
I kind of go back to the whole soapbox I just got on about the issue of fairness for the young kids, because that's the reality of it. They're part of this community, and it's I see the option of so I think it's an issue of fairness, and it's not going. I don't. So I'm okay with that, and I know I'll probably get 100 phone calls right now coming in to.
No, I mean that's the way you feel. Let me ask you a question about education.
Right.
You, as state representative, would you support the pilot program for DY?
Tell me more about that.
The pilot program is something that the town of Yarmouth has floated out there. It's a payment in lieu of taxes for nonprofits and others to voluntarily throw an awful lot of dough into the pot to pay for the shortfall of the Dennis Yarmouth School District that's running $1.8 million, $1.9 million in the deficit right now, in the red right now.
So for nonprofits to help fill in the gap where the funding formula has not.
No, where the school budget has overgone the funding formula. Right.
Okay. I don't. In theory, that sounds reasonable. I would need to know more about that specifically to really weigh in on that. But I think any option to think outside the box to deal with the educational funding is worth exploring and vetting out and having hearings and discussing, because it's a bind, and we're in a bind every year. And as a state rep, I see my position as helping Dennis and Yarmouth and not being in a position to really take a side, because the truth of the matter is it's the school committee and the finance committee and the selectmen that are in the trenches making the decisions, and the state rep helps and gives input and really smooths the feathers with the towns, because it's an issue that comes up annually, and education is a huge priority of mine. I want to be part of those conversations, just like Representative Turner has been, meeting with Carol Woodbury, the superintendent, which I already have a bunch. But I'm a daughter, granddaughter, and sister of a public school educator, and I've always valued education. I want to be right in the mix with these decisions.
Elisa Zwatkis, one other thing, or actually two other things, and I know you have to run shortly. Wind farm, Nantucket, Horseshoe Shoals, Nantucket Sound. What do you think? Yes or no?
No, and I'm all for renewable energy, and we need to find, as a representative, I'm going to explore every option possible to have more renewables in a manner that's affordable to the residents here. There's a lot of people on fixed incomes. Our energy prices are expensive, and we need to be cognizant of the the effect that it's going to have on people. I think there's better options than the Cape Wind project proposal.
So you'd go against the speaker, you'd go against the Senate president, you'd go against the